this, John. You want plenty of goals. You don't want something coming up to half-time and no score. You want to see plenty of goals.
We will run through the caption with the Manchester United team in just a moment, but you've had a look at it.
Yeah.
How would you assess its strength today?
Oh, I mean, I wish they were all playing today 20 years younger in actual fact. When you look at Paul Scholes, I mean, Zidane said what every great player, I think, down through the years has said, that he said Paul Scholes is the best player he's ever seen in the middle of the park, and I certainly agree with that. Fantastic. Yapstam, Ronnie Johnson, great players, great players, and the old black magic up front, Andy and Dwight. Magic.
The only sadness for Manchester United that Teddy Sheringham was forced to withdraw through injury. He was to have been part of this, and Dion Dublin, another casualty, has broken his collarbone playing football. But Manchester United out there first and waiting for their Real Madrid counterparts. These sides met a year ago in the Bernabeu,
yes,
in what was called the Corazon Classic, and at the time it was mooted that that would be the first leg of a two-legged game, and in fact that is the case. So Real Madrid start today with a 3-2 advantage. There are no away goals, you'll be pleased to hear. They don't count double. So if the aggregate score is level at the end of 90 minutes, and if enough of the players are still standing, then it will be a penalty shootout to decide the winners.
I don't think they'll be looking at a penalty shootout. I mean, the great thing about it, when you get older and you come onto a football pitch, and the reasons why people do finish playing football, you stand beside one goal and look at the other one, and it gets further and further away as you get older. Believe me, further and further away. But you mean, it's very difficult sometimes. I mean, I know quite a few of the United lads have been training for this occasion. But it's easy when you're their age to pull a muscle or do something.
Well, we're just about there. Real Madrid taking their time. The great Hierro, their captain.
What a player he was as well. Well, you would say that when you look at the Real Madrid team, you'd say that about them all, wouldn't you? What a player he was, what a player he was. But you'd say that about the United side as well. Terrific players. What would you pay for them, Jonathan, all in their 20s? What would you pay for them?
Well, probably into hundreds of millions of pounds now. So Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to play a half for either side. And the public address announcer just whipping up the fervour within the stadium, waiting for the entry of the two teams. To the familiar matchday music here at Old Trafford, there is a genuine feel of occasion inside the stadium today. More than 60,000 tickets sold. Some of the greatest names in world football over the past 20 years assembled in one place. The chance to see whether the heroes of yesteryear have still got it. And most importantly, the opportunity to raise a substantial amount of money for the Manchester United Foundation to distribute by way of help to young people in disadvantaged areas of Greater Manchester.
See, the one thing that clubs don't get credited for, the number of things that all clubs, in England in particular, the money they earn for charity, the work players put in, young players and old players, but they never get any credit for it at all, and they should get credit for it.
Well, last year's match was in aid of the Real Madrid Foundation, and that money went to fund Real Madrid's projects in Africa. And this is the Manchester United Foundation, which already, over the past 3 years, has raised more than £1.5 million for good causes in the Greater Manchester area.
What a player he was. Oh, dear me, dear me.
And he's one of those, Paddy, that looks like he could still play the game at the top level.
I think, to be fair to the foreign players, they're apt to live a little bit more sensible than the older players in this country live. I hope none of them were out last night, actually. Our lot, not the other team.
Well, one or two stories. Edwin van der Sar was interviewed on the radio this morning and admitted to a large meal and a glass of wine last night.
Did he? Oh.
That wouldn't have happened a few years ago.
Certainly not.
And you could go and ask Clayton Blackmore what he was doing at 4 o'clock this morning, but maybe that's not a question to ask.
No idea.
He'd been at a wedding yesterday. And I think the celebrations went on a bit. Andrew Cole at the back end of the line, shaking hands with an old adversary there in Hierro. Of course, they met not only in Champions League football, but in the Barclays Premier League, because Hierro had a very successful season playing for Sam Allardyce at Bolton Wanderers. Salgado there going through shot, who was at Blackburn. And at the end of the line, the final handshake, and now a look at the team lineups. Brian Robson starting 11 for Manchester United, containing 5 of the players who started the 1999 Champions League final. It would have been 6, but for Teddy Sheringham's withdrawal because of a hamstring problem. Paul Scholes plays for the first time since becoming an ex-professional just a fortnight ago. Clayton Blackmore, at the age of 48, is the oldest starter.
Well, I'm just looking at Paul Scholes, one of the best passes of a ball you've ever seen in your life. Will be playing any balls in front of him to run on to? I'm not too sure about that today. Everything will have to be to feet. But when you look at that team, household names, all of them. Absolutely tremendous players they were for Manchester United. And the medals they've had, European Cup medals, terrific. Terrific. You just wish Paul Scholes was young enough to be playing today. I'm not mean playing today, I mean playing in first team for United.
Well, there's Real Madrid, and their stellar squad list lost a star from its constellation at lunchtime when Italian World Cup winning skipper Fabio Cannavaro withdrew because of an unexpected commitment with his club in Qatar. They won the league yesterday and decided only this morning that they'd have a victory parade, so he's had to go back there.
Oh, that's a shame.
However, Zidane, Hierro and Figo ensure plenty of glamour. Ruud van Nistelrooy there will play a half for each team.
Terrific players there when you look at them, all household names. We keep mentioning Zidane is one of the best players I've ever seen play in my life, and Figo, Morientes, Van Nistelrooy. I mean, God almighty. So Makelele was a terrific player as well. Nasty little so-and-so. Will he be like that today? It's a friendly, someone should tell him. Aguero was one of the great players as well, and so all great names in actual fact.
Well, Sir Bobby Charlton being presented first to Manchester United, now to the match officials, who are led by Kevin Friend from Leicestershire, who was in charge of the League Cup final between Bradford and Swansea earlier this season. And now, via Fernando Hierro, they are face-to-face, two of the greats of European football. And Michel Salgado, who had those 2 seasons with Blackburn, officially retired at the end of last season when Blackburn decided amidst their financial difficulties they could no longer afford to keep him.
I just wonder if the Madrid players believe that they're in Manchester, because there's a glorious sunny day. Doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, but we don't want to reinforce that stereotype. Well, there's Elguera. There are 1 or 2 Real players with unhappy memories of Old Trafford. He scored an own goal here in that Champions League quarter-final of 2003 that Paddy was referring to when Ronaldo bagged a hat-trick. Warm applause for Sir Bobby Charlton. And we also saw Michel Salgado a little earlier, and he won't want to be reminded that the last time he played here he lost 7-1 with Blackburn. And as David Moyes begins to assemble his coaching staff here at Old Trafford, Manchester United's legends, including 2 members of the new Ajax management team. Goalkeeper Edwin van der Sar has been taken on in a commercial role as well as a coaching one, and defender Jaap Stam has also left his first club in management terms, FC Zwolle, to join the coaching staff at Ajax Amsterdam.